Okay, so e-governance in Pakistan from foundations to future. Uh, we will talk about how it started and then gradually where we are now and where we want to go. So why e-governance matters? It's not just about technology, it's about redefining the relationship between the state and the citizen using digital tools. It enhances transparency, streamlines service delivery, and fosters inclusive development. E-governance has evolved from basic digitization efforts to integrated digital service ecosystem. To understand this journey, we have to distinguish three key stages. The first stage was digitization, where we converted paper records to digital, like scanning land records. Um, Next phase is digitalization, using technology to improve the process. Like, for example, you can file for tax online now. And then the final phase is digital transformation. It's a complete overhaul of services, like uh, welfare programs, like Benazir Income Support Program. Let me explain that with an example. Farmers in Punjab used to have to wait for weeks to prove land ownership, and then they would be vulnerable to bribes, and the record is lost or something. Today, he just goes online and prints the FUD within minutes. Uh, this is digitalization. But when he applies for a loan on a mobile app, that is complete digital transformation. And the urgency of digitalization became very obvious when in COVID-19, NADRA and NCOC and Ministry of Health leveraged the biometric database to enable SMS-based vaccine registration, and then the digital vaccination certificates, which were recognized internationally for travel, and also ensure real-time tracking of immunization coverage, how many people, how many areas are covered, and how many areas are lagging behind. So today's journey will be from foundation to achievement to challenges and to future. And in the end, we will talk about a long-term blueprint. So the foundation was laid in early 2000s when NADRA was established. And it started with a simple goal to replace paper with digital systems and red tape with efficiency. Stage one, digitization. Uh, NADRA started with the biometric CNICs. There's two forms of biometrics, the photograph and also the fingerprints. And then soon after, in 2004, machine readable passports were started. 2007, electronic voter lists were started. And at the same time in Punjab, the land records were being digitized. The next phase, digitalization, started in 2010 with FBR, e-tax, uh, Punjab IT Board, e-khidmat centers, e-office systems, e-stamping. This land records was a humongous effort. They digitized 150-year-old land records, and this was supported by the World Bank. Uh, Before this, all the land ownership was in paper files, and this led to a lot of corruption. But now it's very easy. You can just print it online. And the voter list, the in 2008, it included a picture of the voter, so there was ghost voting was made very difficult. And also when you would give your fingerprint to get the ballot paper, which could be later on verified. And then there was certain cases where they were verified later on and the results were changed. And similarly, when it comes to digitalization, online tax filing, it saved a lot of time, and it laid the groundwork for public service delivery. The NADRA biometric database was used for different projects for um, recently for pensioners. They don't have to go to the bank branch anymore. They can do to any branch, not the branch with their account, and they can biometrically verify. Similarly, it was used for account opening and also e-khidmat centers. They were used for payment of vehicle token tax, utility bill payments. So all these processes were reduced from several days to within minutes. And even in Punjab, PITB also started e-stamping system. The stamp papers, instead of going to the store physically, they can now be initiated online. And NITB developed this e-office system for federal and provincial governments to reduce this manual physical file movement, and instead all were done digitally online. All ministries haven't come on board, but it's a very good system. It replaces the physical file system, and of course also keeps a check on the corruption. So next is the achievements, the citizen-centric transformation. Like we discussed in the beginning, this e-governance, the purpose of this is to bring the services to the citizen instead of the citizen going to different offices. From identity to welfare, Pakistan has delivered scalable, inclusive digital solutions. Let's explore some of them. The Smart CNIC was integrated with Benazir Income Support Program and the National Health Program. And these are examples that are quoted globally. This KYC, people now open, this is a fintech revolution that people can just go open accounts online on Jazz or EasyPass just by giving their biometrics. 25 million accounts have been created in this context. The SAS Emergency Cash Program 2020, during COVID, 14 million families received 12,000 per family by NADRA verified biometric system. This ensured transparency and there was no duplication. This was declared as the fourth largest cash program in the world. NADRA also developed transparency dashboards. So beneficiaries were geotagged, ensuring that all regions are covered and disbursement can be tracked real time. Like every time cash is dispersed, is automatically updated and it can be seen on the dashboard. Similarly, they also developed a feedback and redressal system where some citizens felt that they were wrongfully excluded from the program. And NADRA facilitated real-time verification and appeal resolution through mobile and web apps. Also, this remote e-governance during COVID, it was very helpful in the Park ID portal. It allowed citizens to apply online for ID cards. So to avoid the rush in the centers and the spread of the COVID. Similarly, online passport renewal and online e-visa for people visiting Pakistan, they were also established. NADRA also developed a web portal for registration of low-income housing applications uh, and, and conducted income assessment, data analytics-based income assessment to ensure that only low-income people can qualify. And the whole process was online. Similarly, Pakistan Citizen Portal was developed in 2018, where 5 million plus complaints were resolved. Also, NADRA also used data analytics to detect tax evasion. Referenced 19 spending data points like car ownership record, foreign travels, uh, showing that if somebody is enjoying a certain lifestyle, how much tax other people are paying with similar lifestyles. So this helped improve tax collection. And PITB also developed a business portal, an online registration portal, where you can register a business in 2 days instead of 2 weeks. And the turning point in this e-governance journey was the digital census. This was done in 2023, first ever digital census in Pakistan. Uh, it enhanced accuracy and transparency and improved the speed. So over 120,000 enumerators, they used pre-configured tablets, and each household was geotagged, and government authorities had access to live dashboards, so they could look at the progress. Similarly, Digital Economy Enhancement Project, this is DEEP project, is also funded by the World Bank, and it's going to radically change the citizen services. Basically, NADRA will store trusted digital credentials in an identity wallet, and online all services will be online connected to this digital wallet. Initial focus will be for government IDs like driver's license and utility bills, but it will soon be connected with academic qualifications and all other services. There have been roadblocks. Definitely, there are challenges, and we will discuss some of them. The only way to improve is to discuss the challenges and overcome them. Pakistan has made remarkable progress, but there are some hard truths that we face. So the first challenge is that a lot of federal agencies have very advanced systems, but many provincial departments are still rely on paper, like Balochistan Revenue Board. So the federal Revenue Board is, it's quite advanced, but the provincial ones are not. Similarly, we talked about the land records in Punjab, but land records are not automated in Sindh and Balochistan. So there's a lot of inefficiency and citizen frustration. Also, a very important problem is the digital divide. 65% rural areas don't have internet. So definitely, if we don't have internet, then how can people access these services online? And then recently, we've seen even in urban areas, the internet shuts down if there's a political or a religious event, and it disrupts all of these services, including a fast program. It constantly gets disrupted whenever this happens. We have very weak data governance. There is no data protection law, so citizens are not comfortable sharing their personal data, especially when you keep getting the news that the data is breached in government organizations. And there is a draft data protection law, but it's been since 2023 for 2 years. It's just being discussed. It hasn't been finalized. There's huge cybersecurity risks. The National Cybercrime Investigation Authority uh, is underfunded. It doesn't have enough funds, and in 2023 alone, there was 300% increase in cyber attacks. So these challenges have to be addressed before we can make progress. Uh, Now we talk about the future outlook, how we can improve this. The future of e-governance is about smart, inclusive, and anticipatory governance. Here's how we get there. Unified digital ID. When it comes to NADRA and its database, Pakistan is now ready for its next leap, a unified digital identity system. Imagine your CNIC like they have a social insurance number in Canada, or in Estonia they have a similar program. So this ID will be linked to everything from tax filings to health care to financial services, bank accounts, social benefits. So we can link this to FBR database, we can link this to State Bank, we can link this to uh, health uh, in Punjab and KP. And we can eliminate paperwork, 90% paperwork by 2030. So like we, there's three technologies that I think are very, very important. AI, AI is very important and it can help with predictive welfare delivery. So instead of doing surveys, we should have artificial intelligence telling us where uh, the beneficiaries of welfare are, and we target them. For example, uh, if there's floods or any other disaster, AI can help us identify the area and the people. We can be more proactive this way. Similarly, if we about the digital land records, if we use blockchain, it can be completely tamper-proof. There is a pilot in Punjab started last year. Internet of Things, that's also very important technology which can be integrated. It can help us in traffic, it can help us in waste management, in managing the weather. There's a pilot in this area as well. It's the waste management in Karachi. We can also use blockchain in tracking the uh, Benazir Income Support Program, tracking the funds using distributed ledgers. And we can also use NADRA's facial recognition for border security. It is used in a limited capacity, but it can be enhanced. And on the provincial level, you can also do like artificial intelligence-based surveillance to predict crime or accidents using historical data. Uh, and of course, we can do smart cities. And there's also another pilot in Peshawar, electronic medical records. So they're automating all medical records. So any citizen goes to any hospital, they they just give their NIC and their entire health record would show up. So doctors can see their history. Being medical professionals, I'm sure you guys are excited about this. Uh, Probably using this already, those of you who are overseas. And the best thing about transparency is what I've learned in NASA, that we had dashboards for every project. So even like every ID processed, every birth certificate processed, every uh, funds dispersed through BIS, they're all um, on a dashboard being updated live. So we have screens in different ministries where the government can look at it and see the progress, hourly, daily progress. Okay, this went faster than I thought. So to conclude, this was a vision of the future, and how we make it a reality. This is our collective responsibility. Let's remember that e-governance is not about technology, it's about the people. Technology is always about improving the processes. So let's not just digitize the governance. We have to democratize the governance. So the technology is available for everyone. That's why I was talking about improving the internet, because without internet, all these digital services will not be available. So digital infrastructure is an infrastructure, like a bridge, like a road, and that's how it should be treated. It must be accessible universally, not just to some people in Punjab and KP. It has to be accessible to everyone, to 250 million people. For example, Estonia's X-Road data exchange, it's a centralized data exchange platform, and it's a critical government infrastructure, just like we envisioned the digital wallet from NADRA. Also, we need to work on the policy side. Like I mentioned, the data protection bill that needs to be passed. We need to train a lot of people. We need 500,000 people trained in these technologies. We can use the UAE model. They have AI Blockchain Academy. Also, we have to keep our design citizen-centric. The best systems are co-created. So we should have public-private partnership. We should also involve the rural communities in testing our projects like SaaS program. And we should adapt our systems with the feedback from the citizens. So this citizen portal is very important, but it needs to cover all union councils at that level. So people have the confidence that they can make a complaint and somebody from the government will respond. So basically, in my opinion, we should have 10-year vision where after 10 years in 2035, every Pakistani has access to all the services using one digital identity. Doesn't have to stand in queue, doesn't have to give anyone bribes, is not excluded from any service. I would like all of you to imagine a Pakistan where a woman in Thar applies for a loan using her phone. She doesn't have to travel, she doesn't have to drive. An entrepreneur in Karachi registers a business in 10 minutes instead of 10 days. Every citizen trusts that their data is safe and used for their benefit. This is very, very important. So I would like to call this a decade of action. By 2030, we aim to have full interoperability across federal and provincial systems, so all systems work together. By 2035, every province should deliver integrated services to this single ID. The technology exists. We just need the political will and the public demand to make it a reality. Sometimes we let the political will do it, but no, I think as citizens, we need to demand it for the political will to be generated through that. So let's talk about what's the e-governance reforms you would like to prioritize. If you have any questions, any comments, please let me know.
Yes, we have questions from Dr. Umar.
Ji, please.
His question is, what about privacy of individual data and how many layers we need to be there?
Privacy of data?
Yes, privacy of individual data.
So first of all, there's a data protection bill we have to. It always starts with legislation. Has to be laws to protect them. We don't have any laws. So if anyone's data is violated, you don't know what to do. The court will not. The court probably doesn't even have the understanding or the capacity to address this issue. So we have to push our government to pass the law. This is their prime. हुकूमत का काम ही legislation है. So without that law, there is nothing. We have no protection right now, unfortunately. Um, there has been data leaks in NADRA, in SECP, in many organizations, and all these organizations have proposed this law, but it's somehow stuck in the parliament. So that's where it starts. I hope I've answered your question. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, there's another question for you, Mr. Saman. The question was, how many years we need to be there?
How many years?
Yes, in how many years we can achieve this e-governance, complete e-governance?
10 years. I think 10 years is cheaper because we have the foundation.
And what about the protection of the data? I mean, there is a protection bill, but still, what about the data protection from the outward factors, from the enemy state and things?
Yes, that's another. So we have this national cybercrime agency that investigates these things, and in the past couple of weeks, they're becoming very active. There are some. So there's two kinds of threats. One is like you said from other countries, from hostile countries. So these are DOS attacks. They keep attacking your systems till they go down. There is a lot of improvement in recent years to protect our data in that context. And there is a debate of having a local cloud inside of Pakistan, so no data is hosted outside of Pakistan. That's one. This is cybersecurity is a very advanced field, and there's a lot of people now getting involved in it. And the other part is there's a lot of scams. You know, people. This happens too much, and there has been multiple raids in the last 2 weeks involving some foreigners and Pakistanis running call centers. And what they do is they call you and they pay, saying, "I'm from your bank and give me your PIN," and your money's gone. So these are so there's so much technology to protect, but also there's the biggest challenge is artificial intelligence, because now these are physical call centers we're talking about. But I think in future there might be people might be developing bots that can do these frauds. So there is the technology to do these frauds, and there is the technology to protect ourselves. The good news is that I'm seeing a lot of improvement in this area. Um, the cybercrime area, there is a lot of improvement.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sulaiman. I think we are done with the questions. Thank you so much for your insights, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity.
And, can I speak a bit?
Sure.
Ji, please.
First of all, Sulman Shiraz here. Excellent sum up, I would say, very broad topic, but you have done an excellent job in and to brought up in a nutshell. Few things I would like to add. First of all, the question from Dr. Umar, the data security and the breaches. There is always two type of threats that already Sulaiman has, spoken of. But the problem is we have the technology. If you incorporate blockchain there are many use cases which can protect the data. And if you incorporate in cybersecurity, we can have the footprints to catch everything. But the problem is, who's going to do that? There is always someone protecting someone. The bigger threats are internal rather than external. This is one thing. And another thing about the future of e-governance, this I don't see it. I mean, if the current mindset of the government persists, I don't see it completed in 10 years or even in 20 years. There are too many hurdles. E-governance is, next step. I would say the more important step to e-governance is actually AI and automation, the control part. Without legislation, yes, rightly said, it is not possible. But also there is another problem. You can see the services. uh, Internet is another thing, and also the unavailability of hardware. If we have the data, but in order to automate things, and the use of AI for all this data, it's not possible without hefty investment and legislation. You have to do both. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, we lack both. जो हालात चल रहे हैं हमारे इकोनॉमिक, कौन इनमें इन्वेस्ट करेगा? ट्रस्ट का इशू है, एंड ऑल्सो देयर इज नो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. IoT combined is nothing without internet and automation. IoT का जो नेक्स्ट स्टेप है, you have the data. किसी खास सिचुएशन के ऊपर अगर आप चाहते हैं कि चीजें ऑटोमेट हों, आप उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट करें टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ, you need industrial support. There is no, unfortunately, we don't manufacture anything. We have to import everything. Then obviously we have these government policies, heavy taxes. So things, I don't see them going that fast. That's what my take on it.
I agree with Siddharth Sahab. There's this thing I was trying not to say, but now I have to. There are some design flaws. For example, I keep telling my family and friends that आपकी फाइल इसलिए घुमाई गई है कि आप उसको कोई पैसे देंगे तो वो ढूंढ के ले आएगा. So a lot of these, this is what I say is by design problem, that the system is made in a way that it supports corruption, and it resists. And this is the biggest issue with any kind of automation, that it will streamline the corruption. As soon as you start documenting things, as soon as every rupee is counted, then how can people get away with corruption? So that is the biggest problem we have to overcome. Absolutely right. We have to change the design of our systems, just like this e-filing system. I think the biggest progress can be made just by removing this physical paper file. And the adoption of this system, which was introduced, I think, in 5 years ago, no, 2019. In 6 years, only 40% adoption in federal and provincial ministries.
There's another question, but I think this is largely answered. How can we ensure the secrecy, privacy of the personal data, as well as the security of the data and system in our country? Already answered.
अच्छा, एक मैं इस पे ऐड करना चाहता हूँ उमर. So there was this issue about नादरा के लेवल पे फैमिली ट्रीज का. कुछ बड़े लोगों के फैमिली ट्री लीक हो गए थे, उसमें बड़े मसले बन गए थे और लोगों की प्रॉपर्टीज एक्सपोज हो गई थी. बट इन प्रिंसिपल personal data. So what NADRA did was that in order to access anyone's family tree, someone from the family has to give their biometrics. तो अब अगर कोई कहेगा मुझे, या किसी भी नादरा में चेयरमैन को भी कहेगा कि यार वो फलाने का फैमिली ट्री, तो उस बंदे को आना पड़ेगा, या somebody from that family has to come to open that record. So there are levels of security individually in the organizations, but overall as a country इतनी ज्यादा security नहीं है.
Okay. Any other questions, Mabahis?
No, I think no, there's no more questions. I think we are done. Thank you, Mr. Sulaiman. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you for having me. Thank you so much. Have a great day, great weekend.
Thank you, same to you.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, everyone, for joining the meeting.